Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third party review. Now, I'm going to take you back to 2014 when this guy, the Ultimate Collection Dino Force series DB-01 Aerial Assaulter Air Strike was released. This was the figure that was brought out from Bullsfire, and it's their interpretation of a masterpiece swoop. Now, this guy literally sat in the shadows of Fans Toys Saw, and I was absolutely gutted. I managed to get hold of this figure quite recently due to my uncontainable dino addiction I have at the moment. I'm just going through and getting all of the third-party dinos, and I was looking at pictures and I was looking at reviews on this guy, and he has literally sat in the shadows of Saw all of this time. But he's a striking figure. He's the right little underdog, and it's such a shame that he didn't do better. Taking a quick look at the box itself feels just like a Takara Masterpiece box. It's got that kind of gristly kind of bump to it. There's a bit of scuffing on the front here, but that's due to the fact that it's been stored at the back of a warehouse that nobody wanted him. Really nice artwork on the front there with a nice shine. Again on the side, it's very, very reminiscent of the Takara Masterpiece boxes. We have some information on the back here, quick bio on Airstrike, some nice stage pictures there, start, change, finish. Got your contents. On the top of the box, we've just got the same artwork. On the bottom, we've got your bog standard warnings, all of which are in English, which is a nice change. Without further ado, let's crack him open. There he is. I think people's main issues were how small he is, but they scaled this guy to fit in with the majority. The majority of people have the MP-08 Grimlock, or the latest released version. It was MP3, I think it was, or something like that in Toys R Us. And a lot of people have that character, and they scaled their swoop perfectly to fit in with him. Now, Fans Toys, they're brilliant at what they do. They are top of the game. They're up there with the big boys, and they always deliver a fantastic piece, but they do not scale with some of the current Takara figures. Like, they're having to make their own Grimlock, which we're now going to have to go out and buy to scale with the rest of the series. And Bullsfire gave us a swoop which scaled with Grimlock. And as far as representation goes, if you just look over here, this is one of the line drawings, the concept art from some of the old Transformer comics. They've got him down to a T. He actually looks far more like his G1 representation, the toy-wise, than the Fans Toys one does at all. I mean, they've literally captured it down to a T. The shapes, the curves, the panel lining, just this fantastic sculpt which goes all the way throughout. It's really, really nice. The weakest part, I would say, is probably the head. I'm not a huge fan. I just think the paint applications there are slightly lackluster. But again, they've got it down to a T. He is literally a highly articulated version of the G1 toy. And he's glorious. I'm just really impressed by the overall build quality of him and how he looks in both his robot and his alt mode. He's just a very, very solid, robust figure, and he's highly detailed as well. Yes, he's not the perfect size for everybody, but if you can't afford the other Fans Toys, the Giga Power line, and you want to stick with what you've already got, then I think this is actually a really, really great figure for you. I mean, just look at all of that chrome as well. I know it's reflecting my lights like there's no tomorrow, isn't it? But, you know, that detailing that's present on the chest and the legs, that's carried on throughout the entire wingspan as well. That's fantastic. Right, let's cover his articulation. His head is on a ball joint, which allows for a really great looking up motion and a fairly substantial downward motion. They've got a cut-out groove at the top of the neck there, which does allow him to look a lot further down than most of the other Dinobots. Coming around to the arms, we just angle these wings back slightly so you can see the joint. The arms are actually fairly weak in relation to the rest of the body. I feel like they're made of a slightly different plastic, almost a slightly oily plastic. And the joints are a little bit looser as well. If you can see there is a little bit of play on these joints, but they can just be tightened up by adjusting these screws here. Now the shoulder is on a soft ratchet. It goes up and down. It can go up here, and it can pivot all the way up to there. These shoulder pads do move. You have a rotation at the upper bicep. You have a double jointed, almost hinge, kind of a piston thing going on there with the elbow joint, which looks really, really nice. I really like how that looks. You've got a swivel at the wrist. The fingers are actually individually articulated, although they are pinned through the base of each finger, and the thumb itself is on a ball. The waist moves forward and back. You've actually got this locked in section here for his beak. If you just push that forward slightly, we do get rotation at the waist, although it is really, really hindered by that beak section just sitting in amongst the groin. These sections here are actually cut out, so they do move independently of the torso. And as you can see, as you move these sections up, you get these wing sections where his feet are attached. They actually move in with it. Now, it's not the end of the world, but it does look somewhat ghastly. You can move the legs up and back and out of the way if you see fit, but I think they are designed to be sat down at the back of that leg, hidden out of view, like so. You can get the legs out this far for the splits. You do have an upper thigh rotation. Coming down to that knee, we do only have a single jointed knee, and there's a bit of weight in the feet here where we have die cast, so it does put a little bit of strain on that knee joint. Again, that can be adjusted slightly by tightening the screws. We do have up and down motion on the feet, and there is a small rocker joint in there as well, although this section here does hinder a really, really wide stance. The wings are on a hinge up and down. The missiles are removable, and of course we also have a hinge which allows us to extend and retract the length of the wings. Weapons wise, he comes with both the missile launchers and he comes with his thermal sword. Pretty much what we've come to expect from the Masterpiece line. Just a very minimalistic detailing there, but still reminiscent of the G1 representation. It does have a nubbin at the back of the sword, so it tabs into the back of the hand as opposed to the side like we get with the Takara Masterpiece figures. Slots into his hand with the ability to grip with those fingers and secures very, very well. Scale-wise, I think he looks pretty nice there with the rest of the Autobots. I think he fits in pretty nicely. And here he is with Grimlock. I think they look pretty good together. What are your guys' thoughts? Now, getting him transformed, you may recognise the most part of the transformation because I believe the figure itself is actually based on the Seeker mould, the Masterpiece Seeker. It's just kind of modified somewhat and changed in appearance, but in essence it's pretty much the same figure. Just untab your missiles from the wings. And we're going to start by just doing the hands. You basically do this with every single third-party figure these days. The hands do just collapse down. Make sure the thumb is folded and the fingers are all down. And that will just fold onto the arm like so. I'm going to rotate this section around. So this section here is facing the front. Push the grey tab section down and then just push it back in. Like so, and do that on both sides. Next we just need to unlock the beak section. Basically just gently push these chest parts outwards. Untabs the beak from either side. Do that on both sides. And then allows us to bring the beak section up. Hello! That looks like something off Beetlejuice. Grab the head section and slide this entire back section up like so. You then want to rotate this round. So this red section is now at the bottom, like so. Then rotate the arm upwards, like this. And do the same with this side, rotate the arm upwards. like that. Just move the arms out of the way for now. These sections here are going to rotate inwards, and they're going to meet in the middle like this. See what I mean? It's pretty much a seeker. And just push those together like that. Bring the arm back down, and that's actually on a rotation hinge. So just applying pressure on that, that will now rotate in. The hands will tuck in, and there's a small tab on the back here. That's going to tab into this die cast section here. He says. There we go, that holds everything into place. You may need nails for this bit here, just to pull this section over on the shoulder. That just goes over the edge like so. Collapse his feet together and then rock them back and slide them in like so. You then want to bring the pterodon feet round and bring those both to the front like so, clipping them into the waist. Coming round to swoops back, just pull down this section here. That's going to just tuck in there. Your next task is to rotate these legs up, and we're going to bend them at the knee, and there's a tab just here. That's going to bend, and that should locate in that hole just there. You see it? Make sure the wings are clear. And that should locate in that hole, and just tuck that in like so. Pressing down on the knees just secures this whole back section into place. The head folds into the chest section like so, and that's going to just click into place like so. We can then fold the wings back and fully extend those. Such a gorgeous wingspan on this. Fully extend that like so. Bring his little chicken legs forward like this. And if you want to store his sword, it can actually still be stored. There's a slot just through in there. We're just going to slide the sword in there like so. Missiles can be stored exactly the same underneath using these two pegs. Of course, they can also be used as guns for his bot mode, but I'd like them to be used as missiles. Just that really nice retro feel to it. Tab those in using the two tabs just under the side there. That and there. I really love the claw sections on the top of the wings as well. Just it just looks really, really like a proper dino. They're like they've really done their research with this. It's got that nice opening beak there. Nice detailing on the inside. Just really, really nice alt mode. Looks fantastic. Everything's tucked in nicely underneath there. You can see the hands. That's a gripe. I don't really like that. You can see those there. But the actual pterodon legs themselves, really, really nice and stiff. They do move forward and back. There's a bend at the knee. You do have a small rotation there on the actual upper thigh as well. No swivel or anything on the actual feet, just die cast lumps. The head does move up and down, and the beak does open and close. There's no rotation left and right. The wings do move up and down, and of course they are hinged again at the top here. There's these small laser pew, 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 guns on the wings there, as well as little claws on top. The claws do move up and down. Unfortunately, that's all we're going to get with articulation with this guy. Yeah, they both are together. Fans, toys guys, don't hate me for saying this, but I really do prefer the Bullsfire alt mode. It looks way more turkey-like, I guess, which is and that's how I see a pterodon when I watch like the Jurassic World and Lost Dinosaur people. They always strike me as being very turkey-like. Saw is great. He's a fantastic figure. You can't knock that at all. Everybody loves him. But what about Airstrike? So sorry that they didn't get the backing and support that they deserved. It's a glorious figure. It's not without its faults. I mean, just look at the articulation that Saw has. I mean, just the head movements alone blow this guy out of the park. They really, really do. He can look up, down, left, right, do backflips, whatever. But cosmetically, really, really impressed. Looks amazing. Such a great representation. I'm so glad I got him. And you know what? Scale-wise, when Wheeljack ordered the rest of the Autobots to try and stop the Dinobots, I think this actually captures the moment pretty well. They're a really good scale. So there we have it, guys. This is Airstrike. Unfortunately, a forgotten figure from the guys over at Bullsfire. It's a good figure. It was a solid first product for them, and unfortunately, just the time they released it and the competition they were up against really did cast a big shadow over them as a company. I absolutely love it. It was such an underdog, and it's just a shame it didn't work out for them. If you'd like any more gallery pictures at all, please feel free just to leave a comment and I'll get those up on Benscollectables.com ASAP. Thanks again to Andy over at Kapow Toys for hooking me up with this figure. And until next time, thanks for watching. Goodbye.